Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. We are live from Dave's office as we do every Tuesday to get you caught up on the news and the happenings. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today and talk about some enhancements and new changes coming up to this show so we can reach out and make your day a little bit more entertaining. But as always, here's our pastor, Dave Kettleson.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Welcome. One of the things we thought we'd do different, and we were just talking about this, is to make a little bit of a challenge for you. And so we're going to do a bit of a Bible trivia or Bible questions. And the first person who responds with the correct answer to one of the questions will receive a gift. And we will show you next week what the gift is. In fact, I have some things in my office, and they actually I think you'll enjoy the gift. It's not huge, but it is nice. I thought I'd show this picture to you, if I could. I don't know if you can see that picture very well.
Yeah, that shows up.
It shows up pretty good.
Yeah.
I was walking this morning, and every morning I walk down the street from my house, and this individual, the owner of the house right there, did not follow the inspector's guidelines. They're tearing this. It's over $1 million home. So they're tearing the house down. Can you believe it? And anyway, I talked to the neighbors, and the guy next door bought the property, and he's tearing it all down because they didn't follow the guidelines. And I thought, wow, that's just incredible. Well,
when you put that up, I thought that was like leftover tornado damage or something. That's just someone didn't follow the rules.
Did not follow the rules. Yeah. And the sad part of the story is this guy, he has a Saab just like mine. And we talk, and he was putting a lot of money into this house. I'd see some of friends, they were Adventists. They were up on the roof. They were building the house. And one guy told me this house is over $1 million to build. Well, he actually didn't follow the guidelines. The inspector's guidelines did a lot of things. I won't go into it. But in litigation, he passed away. He died in litigation. So then they didn't know what to do with the property. They pretty much gave it to the guy next door. He says, I'll tear it down and rebuild it right. So follow the guidelines. Man, crazy story. Well, we've got some news for you today. We will not be meeting in the building this Sabbath, but we will the following Sabbath, which is the 23rd. And Southern University too will be opening their doors, and we should have our church back together, and so we're looking forward to that. Our first service, of course, is required masks. We have decided too that during the first service, just for your own protection and kind of not to tempt you, so to speak, we're going to not have food or drinks for the very first service. That way we can follow those guidelines to always wear our mask, because it's so hard. If you have something to drink, you're going to want to take your mask down at least for a while, and sometimes people forget to put it back up. So just to let you know, we're trying to create that safe environment for our 10 o'clock service. The 11 and 12 o'clock will be recommended but not required. So, but we will be back in the building as God willing, on the 23rd. So be sure and know that not this Sabbath, but next Sabbath, we'll be back in our building. And then also, too, I've looked at them doing the work on the roof. It is making progress, but slow. A lot slower than we thought, but it's still getting done. And so I'm happy that we're moving right along there. I did talk to Herbie. All of the hardware, everything's done. He said he was waiting on some stone to come in, and they'll be working on our sign again. So I'm looking forward to that, to seeing our sign get completed, and it'll be a nice, attractive sign. LED lights or signs on either side, a waterfall in the front, and hopefully they'll be back on that this week. So Herbie told me, as soon as we get that stone, we'll be right on it. So that's—
Hey, Dave, do we have like an estimated completion date on the sign? Do we know, when he's targeting to have it done by?
I think by the middle of February it should be done. Is my kind of the way it sounded. So we're
Awesome.
about another month it should be done. So
Excellent.
hopefully that. And something, I just keep calling them because, just hearing someone's voice that's interested always gives that spark. Says, yep, we're on it. He says, we're just waiting for the stone. And I knew during the holidays things slowed down. You got Christmas, you got New Year's, so I get that, and even Thanksgiving in between then. But now they should be on a roll, and the weather's good enough. I mean, it's cold out there, but good enough to keep that going. And of course, we have our devotions every morning. We're in the book of Colossians now, and we're talking about how Christ is the center, the centerpiece, and that he is the Messiah, because some of the people in Colossae said he's a good man, but not the Messiah, not the Christ, not God. So Paul had to work through that from Rome, and he's letting them know the importance of remembering that Christ is the center in all. Then we have, let's see, we have our young people. They're waiting for all this work on the roof to get done so we can get the stairwell done and everything back in line. And so we're just kind of waiting on all that to happen too. So we're hoping to get all that done quickly, but we don't have a date set yet. So. And then, of course, Tuesday nights. Tonight is Tuesday, and this is kind of a neat thing that we do our webcast on Tuesdays. That way we can kind of keep you updated what's going on and what we're serving and how you can be a part of that. We always need volunteers. Here's the one thing, too, is that not being open for a while, we used to always have people go to that bulletin board and grab a few things that they could bring, and so that has not been in place. So if you can grab or just kind of know what it is, remind people what some of those things are.
You can always bring spaghetti noodles, spaghetti sauce. One of the things that we're encouraging now, because we've always been taking canned vegetables, but what we've realized is that the number 10 cans, the big cans that you can get at Walmart or Sam's or just about everywhere, they're like, the little cans are $1, the number 10 cans are $5, but they have 12 cans worth in the big cans. So we're seeing if people can start bringing the larger cans or the number 10 can, which is the big, I don't know if young people know how big those honking number 10 cans are. They're huge. But of corn, green beans, any vegetable you want to bring. Little Debbie's are always on the list. I mean, we go through 200 Little Debbie's a week, and when there's 8 or 10 to a box, you can do the math. That adds up in a hurry. I always recommend if you're in the Collegedale, Ooltewah area, run over to the Little Debbie store on Apison Pike.
Yep.
Or you can go to the Little Debbie store in Hickson, but they always have a clearance section of stuff, and you can get the $3 or $4 boxes for about $1. So you walk in with $20, you come out with 20 boxes of Little Debbie's. That's always something good. And like I said, we could always use chips, hamburger patties. You can always, those will be the standards. Since we've been doing this all just by going to the bulletin board, but by the end of this week on our website, there's always going to be a list of things that we can take as donations, and you can not only pledge to bring something to the church, you can also sign up to volunteer on a Tuesday. The only reason we ask you to let us know what you're bringing is so that our kitchen staff knows what to buy every week, because we have to fill in what we're short on. And as always, if you feel led to give in a financial manner, if God's pulling you in that direction, that's fantastic too. So any of those options will work for Tuesday nights.
Yeah, we never refuse a donation, and appreciate that. Yeah, thank you everyone for all the hard, all the things that you've done, and our kitchen crew has done great, and the volunteers. So be sure and remember that that's a huge blessing. those big cans, as he mentioned. I'll mention too, Saturday night, we had our monthly help with some Good Samaritan. And I'll tell you, we had a good crew, had a lot out there. It was a kind of a cold, drizzly night, but man, it was a lot of fun packing all that stuff in, see some new faces almost every time, and really enjoy getting to know those people and working hard. But it goes by quick when you have a lot of people. And we were very pleased to see the nice team that came out that night without doing a lot of advertising from up front and having people there at the church. So thank you for coming out. It went better than we expected, right, Hal?
It sure did. And the one thing, it sounds horrible. Hey, we're going to go move 20,000 pounds of stuff from outside to inside. That sounds like the most laborious, boring job there is. I cannot stress to you, for whatever reason, it is so much fun. I don't know if God makes it fun or just seeing the stuff people donate is fun, or we're constantly just kidding around with each other. But even with people I've never met before, you're virtually buddies by the time you leave because you were having so much fun together. That is an easy way to serve, an easy way to give back. The Samaritan Center does so much for so many in this community, and they do a lot for Hamilton too. They've given so far over or right around $7,500 toward our Tuesday night dinners,
Yeah.
and they have been a huge friend. We send people over there because people will come to us with needs we can't help that they can. So we have a great partnership with the Samaritan Center that we only hope grows. But this is such a great ministry, and it's just fun. It's really I thought I would be dreading it, but after doing it for about 5 months now, 6 months, it's like this is really one of my favorite nights of the month. It really is.
It is. And I don't know if anyone ever remembers in gathering. I used to hate going out in gathering or hate getting to the moment but once we were done, oh, everyone came back and they had hot chocolate and some popcorn, and it was just so much fun. Al's right. It is a blast. I'll tell you, the demographic is you have young people and old people, so don't feel that you can't come out. There's something for everyone to do. We separate picture frames and clothes and toys and anything with a cord, electronics, and there's so many really nice things that people donate. So it's really cool. Then you can say, hey, I'm going to go this week, and hopefully it'll be out there. If you saw something that caught your eye, and give a donation to the Samaritan Center. But there's a lot of really, really good people that come out. And I was so pleased with how many young people came out this last time.
Yeah, Dave, this is something easy to bring the kids to because there's a lot for them to do.
Yeah.
We usually have Michael Torres for the heavy stuff because he's like the Incredible Hulk. He can lift anything and carry it around.
Andrew Klein.
And Andrew Klein. Yeah. So, I mean, those guys are scary strong, but there is tons of little stuff to do. It's easy. It's organized. It goes really fast, but our, college son came out this past week for the first time, and this is not something that's really up his alley. I don't even know why he chose to come. This isn't his thing, but he had a good time. He had a blast, and it was just great.
Yeah. So be sure and come out. Just try it once. Just say, I'll come out, see how it goes. And it goes by pretty quick. You'll be surprised at how time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. You know what Kermit the Frog said? Time's fun when you're having flies. But there's no flies around. So. Okay, so the other thing is that we are in the series called What It Takes. Keith Bowman, Pastor Keith Bowman, will be preaching this Sabbath, and then I'll be back up next Sabbath. And it's been a great series on 4 things: desire, knowledge, conviction, and surrender. You have to have a desire, but you can't just stay there. You have to also have a knowledge of what that desire is, a conviction to know that you are a sinner and you need Jesus. And then finally, surrender. We surrender our lives knowing we can't do it. We have to rely on Christ. So that's our sermon series. And then we're going to start a brand new one called Pray Bold Prayers. So that will start in February, and I'm looking forward to that one too. There's not a whole lot we need to tell you other than we are going to be back in the building on the 23rd. So we hope that you spread the word, tell your friends. We'll have the first service, of course, 9:50 to 10:50, mass required at all times. And then our 11 and 12 o'clock is recommended. So hope you spread the word. Show up on the 23rd, tell your friends, and bring your family and friends. We can enjoy fellowship.
David, if I could share something for just a second. Like I say, we've been closed for 4 weeks, and we've heard from a lot of you, and a lot of people are like, other churches didn't close. Why did we close? We were wanting to be safe, but in the process of following the governor's initial recommendation and closing for 2 weeks, it really became apparent we weren't doing a good job at, making. I mean, we had rules in place, but we weren't really ensuring that they were followed. And we met for 2 hours last night, going over the details of exactly what we're going to need to do to make sure that if you come to the church, you're safe. I mean, we're not going to be serving coffee for that 10 o'clock hour, because that would require people taking their masks off.
Right.
We want to do everything we can so you feel safe coming to church. So it's going to be different than it was before we were open. We're going to, we're really going to have better signage. We're going to have better instructions on where to go. And if you're watching this and you're coming, we need some volunteers just to help us with, crowd control and making sure stuff gets done. But the most important thing, Dave, is I think we really want people to know that we are pledging to do a better job than we did before. We weren't great at we weren't terrible. We weren't ignoring stuff, but we weren't great about making sure that we had a totally safe environment for people who are weary. And I think that, it's taken us a while, and we're sorry that we've been closed.
Yes.
But in the end, it's going to be better for Hamilton, and it's going to be better for the next 6 months, or however long it takes everyone to get vaccinated or to get this virus out of our lives. But I just, from a personal standpoint, I just wanted to say, we pledge to do a better job, and that is something that really has come about because of all of this. So bear with us. We're just volunteers other than Dave and Keith. The rest of us, we're doing our best. And none of us have ever lived through a pandemic before. And if you listen to websites or the news, there's 2,000 different sets of instructions. So we're not sure on what to do, but we are going to do our best to make sure you feel safe when you come to church.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground last night in our leadership team meeting, and I felt we really made some good ground. Our last 3 meetings with the conference has been a lot about what are churches doing, and so many churches are struggling knowing what to do. So we're not the only one, but I do feel we have done an amazing job. Because I know there's some wars going. I've talked to other pastors, and our situations have been very minor. We've wanted to keep it safe. We've had a few little things that have come up. Here's the one thing I'm pledging to do, and I shared with leadership team, that if you know of something that you feel needs to be corrected, come and see me. Come and see one of our leaders, and we will address it. I've actually had to talk to a few people in a very kind, loving way. And you know what? I've even sat down by some people during the 10 o'clock service, reminded them they've always been very nice. People I've called on the phone, people I've talked to have been absolutely, Pastor, I certainly will. I'll be wearing a mask during that time, especially in the lobby and back and forth. So we just want you to know we are stepping it up, as Hal said, and we want to make certain if you come to the 10 o'clock service, that you feel safe. So then we have our live stream, of course. And so our live stream, we have the 3 services, And we're trying to create an environment for everyone. We're trying to be all things to all people and make certain that you feel comfortable at least in one of those. So we're glad that you tuned in today. We just really look forward to next week. We're going to be doing a little quiz, Bible quiz. So be watching for that and get your Bibles out. I don't even mind if you use your phone and Google it, as long as you're with us and paying attention. We'd be happy to whoever's first responder on the question. So I can't think of anything else. I just want to thank you for joining us, hanging in there with us. And I'm looking forward to being back in on the 23rd. And I'm hoping to see you there. So let's just go ahead and pray. And I'll be asking for God's blessing on your life. Father in heaven, thank you for your kindness to us. Of course, we don't do everything right, but we do want to follow your instruction. And I thank you for just how many positive things you're doing in our lives. I'm just so grateful for watching the people that come through on Tuesday nights and seeing their smiles and their gratitude. And if anything else, Lord, I just write on that throughout the week, thanking you for the blessing of reaching our community. I just pray that we'll continue to reach people for you. That's what it's about. It's not just about us and what we want. It's about what you want us to do. I pray for your blessing on each and every member and those that are listening today. And I ask you to keep us close to Jesus. We ask in his name. Amen. Hey, thanks for watching today. I hope you have a great rest of the week. May God bless you real good.